Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. I'm Kathy Sledge, and tonight we're doing a special tribute to start off. This is just an excerpt from The Brighter Side of Day that will be at the Lincoln Theater. And to close, we can't go without leaving with this very special song. I think if Billy were here tonight, she might sing it a little like this. Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have. God bless a child that's got his own. Yes, the strong get more, while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grave. Mama may have, Papa may have. God bless a child that's got his own, that's got his own. Money you got, lots of friends crowded around your door. But when it's gone and spending hands, they don't come round no more. Rich relations give a crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, just don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have. God bless a child that's got his own, that's got his own. Thank you. God bless you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing a rising sun of a new day begun. Let it march on till victory is won. God of our wearies, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you.
Good evening, family and friends. Thank you all for your attendance here this evening as we author another epic chapter in the rich legacy of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. Since the inception of the annual legislative conference, this renowned conclave has served as the birthplace for innovative ideas and comprehensive strategies designed to eradicate disparities and level the playing field for people of color. That is why I was so humbled and extremely proud and honored to have been elected to serve as chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation earlier this year. These are challenging times our nation is facing, and we know that communities of color are being hit the hardest. The CBC, along with the dedicated men, women, and organizations that support the work of the foundation, are working forward and remain resolved and unwavering in our mission to empower and improve the quality of life in the communities we represent. Therefore, the CBC and the CBCF stands ready to answer the call. We are renewing our pledge to serve as the drum majors for justice and the resounding instruments of change. Our ability to marry promise to process is largely attributed to stellar leadership. Dr. King once said, "Genuine leadership is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus." Two of the original founding members of the CBC are still serving in Congress, offering the best of themselves to impact change and to help mold the CBC into the conscience of Congress. Please join me in applauding these exemplary leaders, pragmatic legislators, and diligent guardians of the American dream. Congressman John Conyers of Michigan and Congressman Charlie Rangel of New York. Let's have that round of applause for both Congressman Conyers and Congressman Rangel. Once again, thank you for your support of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation.
And if you might just take the hand of the person around the table with you. If you've not done so tonight, just say good evening. It's wonderful being with you. Let us pray. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into this light, keep us forever on the path we pray. We thank you for our brother and sister whose hand we hold tonight. We thank you for the dynamic Congressional Black Caucus, the conscience of the Congress. We lift to you our leader, our nation's leader, President Barack Hussein Obama, First Lady Michelle Obama, their daughters Sasha and Malia, and their mother, Mother Robinson. We thank you for both food and appetite tonight, as we remember many have neither. But we thank you for the joy and the journey. We ask your blessings upon this night, the foundation, and all those who made this night happen. But most of all, we give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise. We ask that you bless this occasion and bless us, we pray. This is our prayer in your name, giving us stature, stamina, and strength. Amen. You may be seated.
Representing the 10th District in New York, the chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Congressman Adolphus Towns. Representing the 5th District in Georgia, Congressman John Lewis. Representing New Jersey's 10th District, the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Congressman Donald Payne. The delegate from the District of Columbia, Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton. Representing the 35th District in California, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Representing Georgia's 2nd District, Congressman Sanford D. Bishop, Jr. Representing the 3rd District in Florida, Congresswoman Corrine Brown. The Majority Whip of the House and representing the 6th District in South Carolina, Congressman James E. Clyburn. Representing the 30th District in Texas, Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. Representing the 1st District in Illinois, Congressman Bobby L. Rush. Representing Virginia's 3rd District, Congressman Robert C. Bobby Scott. Representing North Carolina's 12th District, Congressman Melvin L. Watt. Representing the 2nd District in Mississippi, the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, Congressman Benny G. Thompson. Representing Pennsylvania's 2nd District, Congressman Shaka Fattah. Representing the 18th District in Texas, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Representing Maryland's 7th District and ALC co-chair, Congressman Elijah E. Cummings. The delegate from the U.S. Virgin Islands and second vice chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congresswoman Donna M. Christensen. Representing the 7th District in Illinois, Congressman Danny K. Davis. Representing Michigan's 13th District, the Congresswoman Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick, the immediate past chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus. Representing the 6th District in New York, Congressman Gregory W. Meeks. The chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, representing California's 9th District, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Representing the 1st District in Missouri, Congressman William Lacey Clay. Representing the 33rd District in California and ALC co-chair, Congresswoman Diane E. Watson. Representing the 7th District in Florida, immediate past chair of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and the Democratic nominee for Senate for Florida, Congressman Kendrick B. Meek. Representing the 13th District in Georgia, Congressman David Scott. Representing North Carolina's 1st District, Congressman G.K. Butterfield, the Secretary of the Congressional Black Caucus. Representing Missouri's 5th District and 1st Vice Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congressman Emanuel Cleaver II. Representing the 9th District in Texas, Congressman Al Green. Representing the 4th District in Wisconsin, Congresswoman Gwen Moore. Representing the 11th Congressional District of New York, Congresswoman Yvette D. Clark. Representing the 4th District of Georgia, Congressman Henry C. Hank Johnson, Jr. Representing the 37th District of California, Congresswoman Laura Richardson. Representing the 7th District of Indiana, Congressman Andre Carson. Representing the 4th District of Maryland, Congresswoman Donna F. Edwards. Representing the 11th District in Ohio, Congresswoman Marcia L. Fudge. And the Senator from the state of Illinois, Senator Roland W. Burris.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give another round of applause to the esteemed Congressional Black Caucus.
Are we all here?
Yes.
Present. Okay. Welcome to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's 40th Annual Legislative Phoenix Award Dinner. I am Tracy Ellis Ross.
I'm Lamont Rucker.
And I'm Victoria Rowell.
And we are thrilled to be your MCs for this evening.
Thrilled. We're proud to be here in the company of such distinguished people. Thank you for being here.
And I, with you two stunning and beautiful ladies.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, you're not so bad yourself.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tonight is truly a monumental celebration. The electricity in this room is indeed undeniable.
Undeniable.
Yes, it is indeed. And everyone that's anyone understands the true breadth and depth of the CBCF's annual legislative conference. Dating back to the inaugural CBC Awards dinner held in June of 1971, the African American members of Congress have used this celebration to engage diverse audiences while honoring the achievements of matchless men and women. Likewise, since the inception of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation in 1976, both the CBC and the CBCF have skillfully assembled an impactful series of workshops and issue forums. These help shape public policy and strengthen our local, national, and global communities and train a new generation of leaders.
Tonight's awards dinner is about reflecting on the past to chart a new course for the future. During the first CBC dinner, keynote speaker and the legendary Ossie Davis proclaimed, "It is essential for the Black Action Plan to be simple and strong. It must be one that can be carried in the head as well as in the heart." Those evocative words are still echoed today as we dedicate tonight's dinner to the pioneering men and women that unselfishly give of themselves and embody the true meaning of civic and social responsibility.
So in the rich tradition of principled leadership, please welcome the President and CEO of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Dr. ALC Scott.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Board of Directors and staff, it is my privilege to welcome you and humbly thank each of you for your support of the 40th Annual Legislative Conference Awards Dinner. I'm pleased to represent the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, an organization that since 1976 has been engaged in developing the next generation of African American leaders, informing public policy, and providing educational forums on the topics of benefit to the global Black community. This year alone, the CBCF has successfully hosted economic empowerment forums across the country to address the wealth gap and to help African Americans take control of their financial destinies. We've welcomed 42 undergraduate students to participate in our summer congressional internship program and 24 students to our semester in Washington internship program. We've launched an interactive blog that was authored by our summer 2010 CBC interns. We've awarded over $657,000 in scholarships. We've donated $100,000 in Haiti relief programs. Thank you. And we've hosted thousands of you this week for the 40th Annual Legislative Conference. We cannot fulfill our mission in isolation. Therefore, we would like to thank all of our corporate sponsors and others who support our programs and initiatives throughout the year. We offer a special thank you to Walmart, State Farm, Dell, Coca-Cola, General Mills, and AT&T, who are our top contributors. Thank you. We thank you for your support of this dinner tonight. Our platinum and gold level sponsors are listed in your program booklet. We thank Eli Lilly for sponsoring the dinner program and for Altria for providing the wine that some of you are now enjoying. To everyone who purchased a ticket or a table at any level, we offer you a big thank you. We would also like to recognize our presidential level sponsors of the annual legislative conference, the Coca-Cola Company, ExxonMobil, and Genesis Royale. Tonight, we are proud to showcase the true value of your investment by introducing the 2010 class of Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Fellows. These young people have advanced degrees and have been selected through a nationwide competition to work as professional staffers on Capitol Hill. I think our fellows are coming forth now. Our fellows? Okay, Onisha Herring. Our female Ike. Camara Jones. Bianca Odin. Adea Tifera. Gregory Tench. Waverly Garon. And Jerica Mathis. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your future. Recognize our 2010 fellows. They will be spending the next year and maybe 2 years serving on Capitol Hill. And so we want to thank them for being here with us tonight and want you to recognize the great work that they are helping us to do. Thank you, fellas. In closing, I would like to thank my board of directors, the CBCF board, and I would especially like to thank my hard-working staff, the CBCF staff. The staff works hard with little recognition to ensure that this 4-day event meets the unique needs of all of our attendees. I would also like to thank all of the volunteers, because we would not be able to do this with 30 staffers. So we thank the 250 plus persons and the CBC staffers who volunteered to help us manage this event. With the continued support of all of you, we will continue to successfully develop the next generation of African American leaders, inform public policy, and provide educational programs on issues affecting our communities. To each of you, let me thank you for your investment in the future and for pledging your allegiance to helping us carry out the mission of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and Mrs. Michelle Obama.
Hello, CBC. Well, it is wonderful to be back with all of you. I want to acknowledge, first of all, Chair of the CBC, Barbara Lee, for the outstanding work that she has done this year. Somebody who not only is a passionate defender of our domestic agenda, but also somebody who knows more about our foreign policy than just about anybody on the Hill, the chair of the CBC Foundation, Donald Payne. Thank you. Our ALC conference co-chairs, Elijah Cummings and Diane Watson, thank you. To Dr. ALC Scott, President and CEO of the CBC Foundation, thank you for your outstanding work. We've got a couple of very special guests here today. I want to give a shout out to my friend, somebody who all of us rely on for his wisdom, his steadiness, the House Majority Whip, Jim Clyburn. A couple of folks who are working tirelessly in my cabinet. The Attorney General of the United States, Eric Holder, is in the House. The woman who's charged with implementing health care reform, HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, is here. Our United States Trade Representative, Ambassador Ron Kirk, is here. And obviously, it is a great honor to have been able to speak backstage to this year's Phoenix Award honorees, Judith Jamison, Harry Belafonte, Sheila Oliver, and Simeon Booker. Thank you for everything that you've done for America. I know you've spent a good deal of time during CBC weekend talking about a whole range of issues, and talking about what the future holds, not just for the African American community, but for the United States of America. I've been spending some time thinking about that too. And at this time of great challenge, one source of inspiration is the story behind the founding of the Congressional Black Caucus. I want us to all take a moment and remember what was happening 40 years ago when 13 black members of Congress decided to come together and form this caucus. It was 1969. More than a decade had passed since the Supreme Court decided Brown versus Board of Education. It had been years since Selma and Montgomery, since Dr. King had told America of his dream. All of it culminating in the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. The founders of this caucus could look back and feel pride in the progress that had been made. They could feel confident that America was finally moving in the right direction. But they knew they couldn't afford to rest on their laurels. They couldn't be complacent. There were still too many inequalities to be eliminated, too many injustices to be overturned, too many wrongs to be righted. That's why the CBC was formed, to right wrongs, to be the conscience of the Congress. And at the very first CBC dinner, the great actor and activist, Ossie Davis, told the audience America was at a crossroads. And although his speech was magnificent and eloquent, he boiled his message down to a nice little phrase when it came to how America would move forward. He said, "It's not the man, it's the plan." It's not the man, it's the plan. That was true 40 years ago. It is true today. We all understood that during my campaign. This wasn't just about electing a black president. It was about a plan to rescue our economy and rebuild it on a new foundation. Statistics just came out this week. From 2001 to 2009, the income of middle-class families in this country went down 5%. Think about that. People's incomes during that period, when the economy was growing, went down 5%. That's what our agenda was about, making sure that we were changing that pattern. It was about giving every hardworking American a chance to join a growing and vibrant middle class and giving people ladders and steps to success. It was about putting the American dream within the reach of all Americans, not just some. No matter who you are, no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from, everybody would have access to the American dream. I don't have to tell you, we're not there yet. This historic recession, the worst since the Great Depression, has taken a devastating toll on all sectors of our economy. It's hit Americans of all races and all regions and all walks of life. But has been true often in our history, as has been true in other recessions. This one came down with a particular vengeance on the African American community. It added to problems that a lot of neighborhoods had been facing long before the storm of this recession. Long before this recession, there were black men and women throughout our cities and towns who'd given up looking for a job. And kids standing around on the corners without any prospects for the future. Long before this recession, there were blocks full of shuttered stores that hadn't been opened in generations. So yes, this recession made matters much worse, but the African American community has been struggling for quite some time. It's been a decade in which progress has stalled. And we know that repairing the damage, climbing our way out of this recession, we understand it will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But what I want to say to all of you tonight is that we've begun the hard work of moving this country forward. We are moving in the right direction. When I took office, our economy was on the brink of collapse. So we acted immediately, and the CBC acted immediately, and we took steps to stop the financial meltdown and our economic freefall, and now our economy is growing again. The month I was sworn in, we had lost 750,000 jobs. We've now seen 8 months in a row in which we've added private sector jobs. We're in a different place than we were a year ago or 18 months ago. And let's face it, taking some of these steps wasn't easy. There were a lot of naysayers, a lot of skepticism. There was a lot of skepticism about whether we could get GM and Chrysler back on their feet. There were folks who wanted to walk away, potentially see another 1 million jobs lost, but we said, we've got to try. And now U.S. auto industries are profitable again and hiring again, back on their feet again, on the move again. There were folks who were wondering whether we could hold the banks accountable for what they had done to taxpayers, or were skeptical about whether we could make infrastructure investments and investments in clean energy and investments in education and hold ourselves accountable for how that money was spent. There was a lot of skepticism about what we were trying to do, and a lot of it was unpopular. But I want to remind everybody here, you did not elect me to do what was popular. You elected me to do what was right. That's what we've been fighting together for, to do what's right. We don't have our finger out to the wind to know what's right. That's why we passed health insurance reform that will make it illegal for insurance companies to deny you coverage because of a pre-existing condition. Historic reforms that will give over 30 million Americans the chance to finally obtain quality care. Tackles the disparities in the healthcare system. Puts a cap on the amount you can be charged in out-of-pocket expenses, because nobody should go broke because they got sick in a country like the United States of America. Not here. That's why we passed Wall Street reform, to finally crack down on the predatory practices of some of the banks and mortgage companies, so we can protect hardworking families from abusive fees or unjustified rates every time they use a credit card, or make a mortgage payment, or go to a payday loan operation, or take out a student loan, or overdraw on their account at an ATM. Laws that will help put an end to the days of government bailouts so Main Street never again has to pay for Wall Street's mistakes. That's why we made historic investments in education, including our HBCUs, and shifted tens of billions of dollars that were going to subsidize banks and made sure that money was giving millions of more children the chance to go to college and have a better future. That's what we've been doing. That's why we're keeping the promises I made on the campaign trail. We passed tax cuts for 95% of working families. We expanded national service from AmeriCorps to the Peace Corps. We recommitted our Justice Department to the enforcement of civil rights laws. We changed sentencing disparities as a consequence of the hard work of many in the CBC. We started closing tax breaks for companies that ship jobs overseas so we can give those tax breaks to companies that invest right here in the United States of America. We ended our combat mission in Iraq and welcomed nearly 100,000 troops home. In Afghanistan, we're breaking the momentum of the Taliban and training Afghan forces so that next summer we can begin the transition to Afghan responsibility. And in the meantime, we're making sure we take care of our veterans as well as they have taken care of us. We don't just talk about our veterans, give speeches about our veterans. We actually put the money in to make sure we're taking care of our veterans. And even as we manage these national security priorities, we are partnering with developing countries to feed and educate and house their people. We're helping Haiti rebuild following an unprecedented response from the United States government and the United States military in the wake of the devastation there. In Sudan, we're committed to doing our part, and we call on the parties there to do their part to fully implement the comprehensive peace agreement and ensure lasting peace and accountability in Darfur. As I said in Ghana, it is in America's strategic interest to be a stronger partner with the nations throughout Africa. That's not just good for them, that's good for us. That's what we've been doing, CBC, at home and abroad. It's been an important time. We've had a historic legislative session. We could have been just keeping things quiet and peaceful around here, because change is hard. But we decided to do what was hard and necessary to move this country forward. Members of the CBC have helped deliver some of the most significant progress in a generation. Laws that will help strengthen America's middle class and give more pathways for men and women to climb out of poverty. But we still got a long way to go. Too many people still out of work. Too many families still facing foreclosure. Too many businesses and neighborhoods still struggling to rebound. During the course of this recession, poverty has gone up to a 15-year high. So it's not surprising, given the hardships we're seeing all across the land, that a lot of people may not be feeling very energized, very engaged right now. A lot of folks may be feeling like politics is something that they get involved with every 4 years when there's a presidential election, but they don't see why they should bother the rest of the time. Which brings me back to Ossie Davis. Ossie Davis understood it's not the man, it's the plan. And the plan is still unfinished. For all the strides we've made in our economy, we need to finish our plan for a stronger economy. Our middle class is still shaken, and too many folks are still locked in poverty. For all the progress on education, too many students aren't graduating ready for college and a career. We still have schools where half the kids are dropping out. We've got to finish our plan to give all of our children the best education the world has to offer. We've still got to implement health care reform so that it brings down costs and improves access for all people. We've got to make sure that we are putting people to work, rebuilding America's roads and railways and runways and schools. We've got more work to do. We've got a plan to finish. Now, remember, the other side has a plan too. It's a plan to turn back the clock on every bit of progress we've made. To paraphrase my friend Deval Patrick, the last election was a changing of the guard. Now we've got to guard the change. Because everything that we are for, our opponents have spent 2 years fighting against. They said no to unemployment insurance, no to tax cuts for ordinary working families, no for small business loans, no to providing additional assistance to students who desperately want to go to school. That's their motto. No, we can't. Can you imagine having that on your bumper sticker? It's not very inspiring. In fact, the only agenda they've got is to go back to the same old policies that got us into this mess in the first place. I'll give you an example. They want to borrow $700 billion. Keep in mind, we don't have $700 billion. They want to borrow $700 billion from the Chinese or the Saudis or whoever's lending and use it on tax cuts, more tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. Average tax cut, $100,000 for people making $1 million or more. Now, the next few years are going to be tough budget years, which is why I've called for a freeze on some discretionary spending. If we are spending $700 billion, we're borrowing $700 billion, not paying for it, it's got to come from somewhere. Where do you think it's going to come from? Who do you think is going to pay for these $100,000 checks going to millionaires? Our seniors? Our children? Hardworking families all across America that are already struggling? We shouldn't be passing tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires right now. That's not what we should be doing. We should be helping the middle class grow. We should be providing pathways out of poverty. And yet the man with the plan to be Speaker of the House, John Boehner, attacked us for closing corporate tax loopholes and using the money to keep hundreds of thousands of essential personnel on the jobs all across the states. He called these jobs, and I quote, government jobs, suggested they weren't worth saving. Teacher jobs, police officer jobs, firefighter jobs. Ask your sister who's a teacher if her job is worth saving. Ask your uncle who's a firefighter if his job was worth saving. Ask your cousin who's a police officer if her job was worth saving. Ask your neighbors if their jobs were worth saving, because I think a job is worth saving if it's keeping Americans working and keeping America strong and secure. That's what I believe. That's what's at stake in this. They want to hand Washington back over to special interests. We're fighting on behalf of the American people. They want to take us backwards. We want to move forward. Their main strategy is they're betting you'll come down with a case of amnesia. That you'll forget what happened between 2001 and 2009. What that agenda did to this country when they were in charge. I mean, they spent almost a decade driving the economy into the ditch, and now we've been down in that ditch, put on our boots. It's hot down there. We've been pushing the car, shoving it, sweating. They're standing on the sidelines, sipping a Slurpee, watching us, saying you're not pushing fast enough, you're not pushing hard enough. Finally, we get the car out of the ditch. It's back on the road. They tap us on the shoulder. They say, we want the keys back. We tell them, you can't have the keys back. You don't know how to drive. You can't have it back. That's right. You can't give them the keys. I mean, I just want to point out, if you want your car to go forward, what do? You put it in D. You want to go backwards, what do? That's all I'm saying. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. All right, we got to move this program along. There are those who want to turn back the clock. They want to do what's right politically instead of what's right, period. They think about the next election. We're thinking about the next generation. We can't think short term when so many people are out of work, not when so many families are still hurting. We need to finish the plan you elected me to put in place. And I need you. I need you because this isn't going to be easy. And I didn't promise you easy. I said back on the campaign that change was going to be hard. Sometimes it was going to be slower than some folks would like. I said sometimes we'd be making some compromises and people would be frustrated. I said I could not do it alone. This wasn't just a matter of getting me elected and suddenly I was going to snap my fingers and all our problems would go away. It was a matter of all of us getting involved. All of us staying committed, all of us sticking with our plan for a better future until it was complete. That's how we've always moved this country forward. Each and every time we've made epic change, from this country's founding to emancipation, to women's suffrage, to workers' rights, it has not come from a man, it has come from a plan. It has come from a grassroots movement rallying around a cause. That's what the civil rights movement made possible. Foot soldiers, like so many of you, sitting down at lunch counters, standing up for freedom. What made it possible for me to be here today? Americans throughout our history, making our union more equal, making our union more just, making our union more perfect, one step at a time. That's what we need again. So I need everybody here to go back to your neighborhoods, to go back to your workplaces, to go to churches and go to the barber shops and go to the beauty shops and tell them we've got more work to do. Tell them we can't wait to organize. Tell them that the time for action is now, and that if each and every person in this country who knows what is at stake steps up to the plate, if we are willing to rise to this moment like we've always done, then together we will write our own destiny once more. Thank you, God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Well, I mean, should we have one more round of applause for that? I needed to get out my paper and pen. Wow. I see my cousin. Well, let's do the official thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership, for your vision, for for that extraordinary speech, provoking a renewed sense of hope in the American dream.
Another devoted keeper of the dream. An astute interpreter of history is represented in the man who is the third-ranking member of the United States House of Representatives, one of my favorite people, the Majority Whip, Congressman James Clyburn.
I need to go over here. Good evening. Thank you, President Obama. The CBC could not have a better partner in the White House. When you came into office, the country was facing the worst recession since the Great Depression. And although we still have a long way to go, with your steady leadership and the determination of my CBC colleagues and our many good friends in the Congress, we will put our country back on track. I want to congratulate Congressman Payne. You and your appointed co-chairs have presided over one of the most successful annual legislative conferences in our 40-year history. I'd also like to thank and congratulate Congresswoman Barbara Lee for the tremendous leadership she is providing as chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Now, having chaired this event twice, followed by a 2-year stint as caucus chair, I know of the highs and lows all 4 of them have experienced. But I want to take a moment to recognize our CBC committee chairman. Please join me in applauding the Honorable John Conyers from Michigan. Congressman Conyers' exemplary leadership of the Judiciary Committee has helped guide our country through some perilous times. The chairman of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is Representative Ed Towns of New York's 10th Congressional District. Please join me in applauding Ed, whose timely and insightful oversight is protecting the public and taxpayers from waste, fraud, and abuse. As chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, Congressman Benny Thompson from Mississippi's 2nd Congressional District is leading the good fight to maintain a safe and secure homeland, and is demonstrating that such can be accomplished while honoring the diversity of our great nation. Let's applaud Congressman Thompson. Now, time will not permit me to call the names of all CBC members of subcommittees who are chairs of subcommittees. But let it suffice for me to say that when we read the headlines, drill down and read the whole story. Because next year, I plan to come back here, and hopefully I'll have time to call out their names, and maybe even recognizing 1 or 2 of them as committee chairs, if you get my drift. I hope each and every one of you have enjoyed this annual leadership conference, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening. Thank you.
Let me thank once again the CBCF and its leadership for its recognition of the CBC members and the work that we do on behalf of our constituents, communities of color, and all people. Tonight, and throughout the 111th Congress, we, the members of the Congressional Black Caucus and the CBCF family, have been making and shaping history. Without retreat, the 42 remarkable men and women who comprise the CBC have legislated, leveraged, and lobbied on behalf of the over 40 million Americans. As history prepares to record the final installments of this session of Congress, the CBC is resolute in our quest for jobs, jobs, and more jobs. With nearly 16 million Americans out of work and the unemployment rate of African Americans spiraling to 16.2%, we must resurrect the grassroots model for evoking direct action and immediate relief, what I call street heat. Therefore, we are enlisting each of you, our faithful allies, to mobilize in mass numbers, increase your involvement of time and resources, and unite with us in the ongoing battle of making America stronger, healthier, and truly united. I sincerely thank you for your support of my tenure as the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus over the past 2 years. Amid triumph and travesty, we have kept our eyes locked on the prize and our priorities affixed to the needs of the African American and global communities. Tonight, we are standing at the threshold of change. This new day and new direction holds infinite possibilities. Within the ranks of the CBC, several of our faithful members will be embarking upon new horizons. These transitioning leaders have tirelessly pledged their allegiance to making America stronger and more just. Ladies and gentlemen, please salute Congresswoman Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick, Congresswoman Diane Watson, Congressman Artur Davis, Senator Roland Burris, and Congressman Kendrick Meek. Give our transitioning members another round of applause. They are great warriors and great leaders and have served this country and this Congress and their districts well. This year's conference is a true testament of the hard work and concise planning of two outstanding members of the CBC. Please welcome our 2010 Annual Legislative Conference co-chairs, Congressman Elijah Cummings and Congresswoman Diane Watson.
Good evening. As a member of the distinguished body of the Congressional Black Caucus, I've been afforded a wealth of monumental experiences. This year was no exception. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow co-chair, Congresswoman Diane Watson, for her remarkable leadership, and we all wish her well in retirement. That's right, give her a hand. This week was designed to inspire, enlighten, and empower. Whether your faith was revived during the stirring prayer breakfast or if you expanded your knowledge in the spirited jobs and education discussions during the town hall meeting, we trust this year's conference will strengthen our collective efforts to perfect our union and save American families. Now is the time, and this is the place.
I want to thank you, Congressman Cummings, for your superb leadership and partnership. It's been my honor co-chairing with you. This year's conference theme, Celebrating the Vision, Continuing the Journey, and Advancing the Mission, has served to be a remarkable framework for illustrating the Congressional Black Caucuses and the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's relentless commitment to improving the quality of life for people of color and grooming the next generation of leaders. Throughout the week, we assembled a series of thought-provoking sessions guided by industry experts to celebrate the vision of equality and justice shared by the founding fathers of the caucus, while continuing their journey to preserve the ideals of our democracy and fill the mission of the institution. This is a defining moment in our nation's history. Future generations will judge this period not by the level of deficits we face, but by our commitment to overcome and reach higher ground. Once again, thank you for your partnership and all of your contributions. We have definitely helped to cast the 40th anniversary of the annual Legislative Caucus as a time when we celebrated the vision, we continued the journey, we advanced the mission, and we affirmed our actions.
Just one more. So many distinguished friends have joined us tonight, so we will not try to single out each of you. As I said during the prayer breakfast this morning, everybody in the room is important. There are, however, several groups I would like to recognize. Will all the former members of the CBC please stand? Give them a hand. We also recognize the local and state elected officials. We would also ask them to stand. And we also want to recognize our colleagues from the Congress of the United States of America who are here, including our Majority Leader, Steny Hoyer. Finally, members of the Obama administration are here, including Attorney General Eric Holder and many, many others. We thank you for your service and your presence here tonight. May God bless.
Thank you. "55 years ago, I ventured into the Deep South and for the first time of my life. For me, born and reared in the North, it was a frightening experience. I was on assignment for JET to cover a voting rights rally in the Mississippi Delta. The keynote speaker was Detroit Congressman Charles Diggs. Reaching out to more than 13,000 farmers and sharecroppers gathered in a cow pasture, Diggs delivered a message of courage and hope to people held down by poverty, oppression, and hate. Many decades later, the right to vote is no longer the issue. We have thousands of state and local black elected officials, 42 black members of Congress, and a black president in the White House. But we must not forget the remaining challenges. Many black men in prison and too few in college, enormous black poverty, high unemployment, far too many teenage pregnancies. Our struggle is far from over. I want to thank the Foundation and the members of the Congressional Black Caucus for this great honor. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I know you're doing fine. Everybody ate, the president spoke. This is wonderful. I'm very, very, very honored to be back here. I just did a U-turn from London just to be with you because I feel this is like the epitome of honors. Thank you, members of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation and friends. I'm tremendously moved and awed by this honor because it validates what has been taught to me and which I've tried to pass on in my life's work. My father's words to me before he passed were simply, do good. Our president has challenged us all to do good, to give back in some way, starting with our communities. I choose to do so with dance because each time dancers perform, they affirm the notion that the beauty and the humanity of their heritage will unite people of all races, ages, and backgrounds. We've seen it happen all over the world when we perform with the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Communities that coexist but don't commingle come together to see our performances and leave with their spirits lifted. There are many ways of continuing our legacy. Artists do so by sharing their passion, by entertaining, inspiring, as well as educating, just as the CBCF does, by providing opportunities to African Americans in areas that make a difference in their lives. This is all made possible, of course, by people like you, people who recognize the importance of honoring our legacy, but at the same time understand that they have to support new ways and new policies and new discoveries that will propel us to embody the best that is possible in each of us. Thank you so much for this honor. Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special recognition at this time. For the past 5 years, there's been a woman who's been behind the scenes planning the ALCs. And many times you don't even know her, but everybody at all the congressional offices know her, and that is Krista Hagan. And at this time, we would like for Krista Hagan to come to the stage and be properly recognized for all the work that she's done planning 5 of these ALCs. You know it's no easy task. Please welcome Krista Hagan. Okay, to Krista Hagan, coordinator of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, ALC.
Tonight's sterling celebration is a true testament to the spirit and unparalleled resolve of African Americans. As a result of the blood, sweat, and tears shed by our forebears and modern-day liberators, this generation, as well as generations to come, should be proud to own their inheritance. This year, some of our greatest American legends made their departures. However, their lives and their sacrifices will not have been in vain as long as we utilize their works, writings, and willful spirits to serve as our moral compass to justice. Let us remember these trailblazers. If tears could build a stairway and memories a lane, I would walk right up to heaven and bring you down again. God bless these remarkable men and women. Harriet Tubman once said, I would fight for my liberty so long as my strength lasted, and if the time came for me to go, the Lord would let them take me. In addition to Miss Lena Horne, Mr. Percy Sutton, Dr. Dorothy Height, we also celebrate the lives of respected journalists, Mr. Harold Dow, member of the Little Rock Nine, Mr. Jefferson Thomas, and pioneering attorney and civil rights giant, Mr. Benjamin Hooks. Most recently, the world mourned the loss of a brilliant mind, an analytical genius, and a masterful professor of history. To help us celebrate his life and legacy of Dr. Ron Walters, please welcome Dr. Joe Leonard, Assistant Secretary of Civil Rights for the United States Department of Agriculture and pupil of Dr. Walters.
In 1947, Ralph Ellison, in his seminal work, Invisible Man, stated, I'm invisible, understand, simply because people refuse to see me. Dr. Ron Walters, born 1938 in Wichita, Kansas, passed away last Friday, September 10, 2010. When the scroll of American public policy is written, the name of Dr. Ronald Walters will appear. In July of 1958, the 20-year-old Ron Walters, president of his local NAACP council, organized sit-ins some 18 months before February 1st, 1960, in the Greensboro, North Carolina sit-ins. The Washington Post recently noted that Dr. Walters led what is to be considered one of the first black lunch counter sit-ins. But he didn't stop there. Dr. Walters, armed with a BA from Fisk University and a master's and PhD from American University, sought to combine nonviolent direct action with progressive public policy. Most people in this audience know Dr. Walters because he worked with Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. as his campaign manager in 1984 and 1988. He was also chairman of the Howard University Political Science Department, served as a senior policy staffer to Congressman William Gray and Charles Diggs, was a founder of Trans-Africa Forum, and was the director of the African American Leadership Institute at the University of Maryland. But what most people don't know is his mother was a civil rights activist, and his father was a Tuskegee Airman. Upon hearing of Dr. Walters' passing, many came forward with their reflections of his life. Congressional Black Caucus Chairwoman, Representative Barbara Lee, stated, Professor Walters was a scholarly giant and was one of America's most insightful analysts of the political landscape in general and the intersection of race, politics, and policy specifically. Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. states, Ron was one of the legendary forces in the civil rights movement of the last 50 years, and many of his ideas now make up the progressive wing of the country. If you've heard about the Earned Income Tax Credit, if you've heard about the state children's health insurance program, if you've heard about Motor Voter, if you understand that the 2008 election was the first election that had proportional voting in the Democratic Party, you will know the work of Dr. Ron Walters. NAACP President Ben Jealous stated, Dr. Walters' lessons have guided my life's work for the last 20 years. For many people in attendance, Dr. Walters was their first call in the morning when a national emergency broke out. He was the midday compass to provide astute analysis of the issue, and he was our evening jazz because we were able to go to sleep knowing that Dr. Walters was on the cause. But at home, he was Ron, Mrs. Walters, Pat, who is in attendance, if Mrs. Walters would stand up, and also Dr. Walters' brother, Kevin Walters, is in attendance as well. We thank you for sharing Dr. Walters with us all. Your life love has provided a light for us all, and we are forever in your debt. Thank you, Dr. Walters. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for, as Dr. King put it, for working to make justice a reality for all God's children. By doing that, he helped make us all visible. That was his life, and that will be his everlasting legacy. God bless you, Pat, and the assembled members of the Walters family.
Good evening, everyone. I certainly would like to express my humblest gratitude to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, its chair, my congressman from the 10th Congressional District, and all of the members who labor on Capitol Hill to push forward an agenda that helps support the work that we as state legislators engage in. We consider ourselves to be in state legislatures foot soldiers to a national agenda, and as our president shared with us this evening, it is not about the man or the woman, it's about the plan. Thank you very much.
I would like to express to the Black Caucus my deep sense of appreciation for this award that you've bestowed upon me and my fellow honorees here tonight. Mr. Simone Booker, Judith Jamison, Sheila Oliver, all worthy Americans and great souls. I was delighted tonight to watch the Black Caucus members as they walked up on stage, to see that so many of them have aged so well. Well, I tell you, 30 years ago I worked very hard, actually more than that, very hard to put so many of them in office, and they have endured this long because they have brought hope to the nation. My friend Martin Luther King Jr., he and I in Alabama sat on a hillside one afternoon and we reflected on the plight of America. And he pointed out that no empire endures forever. None. Not since the earliest of biblical writings and all throughout recorded history, empire after empire eventually dwindles. What one finds in the commonality of that history is that most of them depleted and passed away because of greed, avarice, corruption, and moral loss. He hoped that America would be the one empire to endure longer than most, and if it did, it would not be lost to us because of those ills. Today, we see a world in chaos. And no matter what we say or what we do politically, our real demise lies in the fact that we've lost a sense of moral integrity, moral purpose, and we have not committed ourselves to the greater good. I thank the caucus, and in listening to President Obama, I looked at him tonight and his wife and in our brief chat backstage, I saw in him a man filled with strength, a great sense of possibility for the future. But what I saw absent in his life was an active citizenry. What is missing is not what he can do and not do. What is truly missing is what we, each and every one of us, have not done. We talk about Tea Party. Tea comes in a bag. And if you dunk it long enough, it loses its strength. We have to become tea bag dunkers. In particular, Dr. King had great faith in Black America. He passed that on to each and every one of us, as did all the noble men and women in that great period in American history. We have watched a lot of that greatness dwindle and pass away. We have got to reclaim it. And if you want Barack Obama and this administration to prevail and to lead America to a higher moral ground, we, each and every one of us, have to take our piece of that responsibility and make the difference. It is not Barack Obama who is languishing for the wants of ideas. He has the ideas. What has been missed is the voice of a militant, strong America. Those voices that before in other history prevailed to change the course when this nation found itself in the midst of crisis, political and moral. I'm glad that I've endured past this 3/4 of a century to be able to stand here still of mind, still a heart filled with purpose, and a soul filled with spirit. And I thank the Black Caucus for giving me this opportunity tonight. God bless you all, and thank you very much.
I trust that each of you has been enriched by this celebration.
You guys, you sound tired. The night is still young, Roland Martin. The night is young and full of promise, so please continue to revel in it. I'd like to thank you for the honor of allowing us, myself, the beautiful and incomparable Tracee Ellis Ross, our wonderful friend Victoria Rao, to serve as your hosts and MCs for this evening. It has sincerely been our divine pleasure.
So we ask you to please continue to support the work of the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and let us all build a stronger America.
Now, to officially frame the evening, please welcome back to the stage CBCF Chairman Donald Payne and CBC Chairwoman Barbara Lee.
Before I make my concluding remarks, I'd like to acknowledge a guest that's in the House, the President of South Sudan, President Salva Kiir, who's been here all evening celebrating with us. Let's give a round of applause to President Salva Kiir from South Sudan. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been quite a magical evening and a magnificent conference. Please give a round of applause for our two great MCs of the evening, Tracee Ellis Ross and Lamont Rucker, and special guest Victoria Rao. Once again, we are extremely grateful to President Barack Obama and Mrs. Michelle Obama, all of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, spouses, the entire CBC staff, our sponsors, our hosts, awardees, and of course, each and every one of you. And at this time, we will see our chair of the CBC, Ms. Barbara Lee.
Thank you, Congressman Payne. And let me just thank all of you. Tonight, we have acknowledged and are acknowledging the contributions and achievements of extraordinary men and women. That's what this evening's celebration is all about. From global advocates to humanitarians to legislators, they all represent a pioneering spirit and enduring commitment to change. Now, as we prepare to leave this place and journey back to our respective communities, let us be about the real business of change and strengthen America, community by community. To frame this evening appropriately, we are pleased to have a couple who embodies the love for liberty and justice that is stronger than a rock. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, our Grammy Award-winning performers who are here with us tonight to celebrate, Ashford and Simpson.
CBC. And for love's sake, each mistake, all you forgave. And soon both of us learn to trust, not run away. It was no time to play. We built it up, and built it up, and built it up, and now we're solid, solid as a rock. That's what this love is. That's what we've got. Oh, solid, solid as a rock. And nothing's changed here. From to the street. She didn't turn away when the sky went gray. Somehow we managed, we had to stick together. She didn't bat an eye when I made her cry. We knew down the line we would make it better. And for love's sake, each mistake, oh, you forgave. And soon both of us will learn to trust, not run away. There was no time to play. We built it up, and built it up, built it up, and now we're solid, solid as a rock. That's what this love is. That's what we go. Solid, oh yeah, solid as a rock. And nothing changes. Don't you still? Gone with the wind, another friend got in between, tried to separate us. I want you to think about it, know what I'm talking about. Knock, knock on wood, she understood. Love was so no, we did what we had to.
gonna say that. We're gonna say that real good. Brick by brick, we gonna make it stick.
That's what you got to do.
Are y'all feeling me out there?
Oh, brick by brick. That's how we gonna build it.
We gonna make it stick.
Yeah.
You think the folks over there feeling it?
Oh, yeah. Brick by brick. Ooh, yeah.
We gonna make it stick.
And then what?
And like me, and like
solid. Ooh, yeah. Solid as a rock. Solid. Solid as a rock. Baby, sweet. Ooh, solid. Oh, yeah. Solid as a rock.
it's good, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good to you.
Solid. Solid as a rock. The thrill is still solid. Thank you.
Okay, it's been such a beautiful evening, and we are honored to be here for this special event. And I was wondering, was the food good? We're gonna talk about something else now but we wanna see if it's good too. And tell the truth to the one you're next. Are you ready, Maestro? Been a long time since you touched me and made me feel that wonderful glow the way you do.
It's been a long time since you held me and squeezed me so. I wonder that's come over you.
I don't know if I ought to bring it up. Sure makes such a funny thing to talk about. I don't know if it's right to do.
And I don't want to bug you, but ooh, I'm up against the wall. And I wanna know, oh, is it still good to you? Does it feel alright? Is it still good to you? Will you prove me tonight? Been a long, long, long time since you asked me how was my day and kissed me before I could say.
It's been a long time since you told me if things could change, you wouldn't have it no other way. And I don't know if I ought to bring it up. Seeing such a funny thing to talk about. I don't know if it's right to do.
And I don't wanna bug you, but I'm up against the wall, and I wanna know.
Y'all still good.
You know,
Yes.
there's one song we've written that I wanted to dedicate to all the wonderful ladies of CBC and the foundation as well. Because sometimes we ladies need a theme song to help us do all the things we have to do. So I send this out to you, you, and you. Nick wrote some beautiful lyrics. I did the music. Tonight it's yours. Whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally. 'Cause I'm every woman. It's all in me. It's all in me. Yeah.
All right. Let's have some fun.
Every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. I'm every woman, it's all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. If I want to play to sing. I can catch the spell, secrets you can't tell. Needs the best of you, put fire inside of you. Anytime you feel danger or fear, instantly I will appear. 'Cause I'm every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. I can sense your needs like rain unto the seas. I can make a rhyme with confusion in your mind. And when it comes down to some good old-fashioned love, I've got it, I've got it, got it. Yeah. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally.
Hey, baby. forks must be awfully heavy. I don't hear no hands coming together. That was a good performance. I don't know what's the matter with y'all. I don't know what's the matter out there. I tell you what, y'all want to go back to some of those songs we wrote when we were with Motown? Are you in the mood for that? Talk to me or do something. This is one of the first songs that became a major hit for me and Val, and if you feel like it, if you're not too full, you can sing along with this medley. Ain't nothing like the real thing, babe. Oh, you know this one, don't you? Ain't nothing like the real thing. Ain't nothing like the real thing, babe. I like to see you singing with me. Ain't nothing like the real thing.
I've got your picture hanging on the wall, but it can't still come to me when I call your name. And I realize it's just a picture in a frame.
Ooh, I read your letters when you're not near. They don't move me and they don't groove me like when I hear your sweet, sweet voice whispering in my ear. Ooh, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Some of y'all talking to me, I like it. Ain't nothing like the real thing. Say it, say it, say it, say it. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. Every day, and there's something new. Oh, sugar, to keep me loving you.
And with every passing minute, oh, so much joy wrapped up in it.
Oh,
heaven must descend from above. Oh, heaven must descend your precious love. And now I got a song to sing, and in the world, found the joy you bring.
and you've given me a reason for living, little girl. You told me that for me,
Oh, heaven must have sent you from above. Oh, yeah. Oh, heaven must have sent your precious love. Oh, heaven must have sent you from above. Oh, heaven must have sent your precious love.
all right, let's see if they know this one. All right. Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no planet low, ain't no river wide enough now. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far.
You just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high.
Thank you for this honor. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Nick Ashford and Miss Valerie Simpson.